Title of the article: Understanding M1, M2, and M3 Money Supplies, Significance for Retail Investors. Part 1 of 3. Disclaimer: this article is based on my best knowledge and research. While I strive for accuracy, there is a possibility of mistakes or omissions. I encourage readers to conduct their own research. Introduction. Brief explanation of money supply. Money supply refers to the total amount of money circulating within an economy at any given time. It encompasses various forms of money, including cash, demand deposits, and other liquid assets. Central banks, such as the Federal Reserve in the United States, play a crucial role in regulating and controlling the money supply to ensure economic stability and promote growth. Importance of tracking money supplies for retail investors. Retail investors, individuals who invest their personal funds in financial markets, can benefit from tracking money supplies for several reasons. Economic indicator. Money supply serves as an essential economic indicator, reflecting the overall health and direction of an economy. By monitoring changes in the money supply, retail investors can gain insights into the economic conditions and potential trends that may impact their investments. Monetary policy implications. Changes in the money supply often result from monetary policy decisions made by central banks. Retail investors who stay informed about shifts in money supply can anticipate the impact of monetary policy changes on interest rates, inflation, and overall market conditions. This knowledge can help them adjust their investment strategies accordingly. Interest rate impact. Money supply fluctuations can influence interest rates, which have a significant impact on investment returns. When the money supply increases, it can lead to lower interest rates, stimulating borrowing and investment. Conversely, a decrease in the money supply can push interest rates higher. By tracking money supplies, retail investors can anticipate potential interest rate movements and adjust their investment portfolios accordingly. Investment decision making. Understanding changes in money supply can provide valuable insights when making investment decisions. For example, an expanding money supply may indicate increased liquidity in the economy, potentially favoring certain asset classes like stocks or real estate. Conversely, a contracting money supply may suggest a more cautious approach, focusing on defensive investments or fixed-income assets. By tracking money supplies, retail investors can align their investment choices with the prevailing economic conditions. In conclusion, tracking money supplies is crucial for retail investors as it provides valuable information about economic conditions, monetary policy implications, interest rate trends, and investment decision-making. By staying informed about changes in money supplies, retail investors can enhance their ability to make well-informed investment choices and navigate the ever-changing financial landscape. Overview of M1, M2, and M3 money supplies. Definition and components of M1. M1 represents the narrowest measure of money supply, comprising highly liquid assets that are readily spendable. Its components typically include currency in circulation, physical cash held by individuals, businesses, and banks, demand deposits, checking accounts and other types of accounts that allow for immediate withdrawals, often held in commercial banks, traveler's checks, prepaid checks issued by financial institutions that can be used as a form of payment. Definition and components of M2. M2 is a broader measure of money supply that encompasses M1 and additional less liquid assets. Its components typically include M1. All the components of M1 mentioned above. Savings deposits. Accounts held by individuals and businesses that pay interest but have restrictions on the number of withdrawals or transactions. Time deposits. Accounts with a fixed maturity date, such as certificates of deposit, CDs, that pay higher interest rates but generally impose penalties for early withdrawal. Money market mutual funds. Investment funds that invest in short-term debt securities and function as a near-cash substitute. Definition and components of M3. M3 is the broadest measure of money supply, encompassing M2 and further including relatively large and less liquid financial assets. Its components typically include M2. All the components of M2 mentioned above. Large time deposits. High-value time deposits that are generally held by institutional investors. Repurchase agreements. Short-term loans collateralized by government securities or other highly liquid assets. Institutional money market funds. Money market funds available only to institutional investors, such as corporations, governments, and financial institutions. Key differences between M1, M2, and M3. The key differences between M1, M2, and M3 lie in the liquidity and breadth of assets included. Liquidity. M1 comprises the most liquid assets that can be readily spent, while M2 includes assets that are slightly less liquid, and M3 includes the broadest range of assets, some of which are less liquid. Breadth of assets. M1 includes currency in circulation, demand deposits, and traveler's checks. M2 adds savings deposits, time deposits, and money market mutual funds. M3 further expands to include large time deposits, repurchase agreements, and institutional money market funds. These different measures of money supply allow economists and policymakers to gauge the overall availability of money and credit in the economy. Retail investors who understand the distinctions between M1, M2, and M3 can gain insights into the different levels of liquidity and financial stability, aiding their investment decision-making process. Significance of tracking M1, M2, and M3 for retail investors. Understanding economic indicators. Tracking M1, M2, and M3 money supplies can provide valuable insights into the overall economic health of a country. Changes in money supplies often serve as leading indicators of economic activity. Retail investors who monitor these indicators can gain a deeper understanding of the economic climate and make more informed investment decisions. For example, an increasing money supply may suggest economic expansion and potential investment opportunities, while a decreasing money supply may indicate economic contraction, prompting a more cautious investment approach. Implications for monetary policy. Central banks closely monitor money supplies as part of their monetary policy framework. By tracking M1, M2, and M3, retail investors can gain insights into the potential direction of monetary policy decisions. For instance, if money supplies are expanding rapidly, it may indicate that central banks are adopting an accommodative stance, potentially leading to lower interest rates and encouraging investment. Conversely, a contraction in money supplies may signal a tighter monetary policy, potentially resulting in higher interest rates and a more conservative investment approach. Impact on interest rates. Changes in money supplies can have a direct impact on interest rates, which can significantly affect investment returns. When the money supply increases, it injects liquidity into the economy, leading to a potential decrease in interest rates. This can make borrowing cheaper and incentivize businesses to invest and consumers to spend, stimulating economic growth. Conversely, a decrease in the money supply can tighten liquidity, potentially resulting in higher interest rates. By tracking money supplies, retail investors can anticipate potential interest rate movements and adjust their investment strategies accordingly. Influence on investment decisions. The levels and trends of M1, M2, and M3 money supplies can influence investment decisions across various asset classes. An expanding money supply may lead to increased liquidity in the economy, favoring investments such as stocks, real estate, and commodities. Retail investors can consider allocating their portfolios toward these assets during periods of monetary expansion. Conversely, during periods of monetary contraction or stability, a more defensive approach, focusing on fixed income assets or cash equivalents, may be appropriate. By tracking money supplies, retail investors can align their investment decisions with the prevailing economic conditions and potentially enhance their portfolio performance. In conclusion, tracking M1, M2, and M3 money supplies is significant for retail investors as it helps them understand economic indicators, anticipate monetary policy decisions, assess the impact on interest rates, and make informed investment decisions. By staying informed about these money supply measures, retail investors can better navigate market dynamics, adjust their investment strategies, and potentially enhance their overall investment outcomes. Will be continued next Friday. Next week we will focus on how M1, M2, M3 reflect economic conditions and resources, tools for retail investors to track them. Thank you for reading my article. If you liked my article and would like to support my work, please treat yourself with something awesome from my Etsy shop. Dreaxia.etsy.com